Welcome to Story Spectrum, where every color tells a story. And here's another one. They look like statues sleeping in stone, but these were real people frozen in their final moment of terror. For nearly 2,000 years, their screams were silenced under layers of volcanic ash, waiting for us to find them. But to understand how they died, we must first look at how they lived on that bright summer morning in 79 AD. Pompeii was a wealthy resort town, a paradise of red-tiled roofs and bustling markets sitting on the Bay of Naples. The streets were alive with the sounds of merchants shouting, chariot wheels grinding, and water flowing through fountains. Rich patricians relaxed in luxurious villas, enjoying grapes and wine, completely unaware of the monster looming above them. For the people of Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius was just a mountain, a gentle giant that provided fertile soil for their vineyards. They didn't even have a word for volcano in their language, believing the earth was solid and unchanging. But deep beneath the cobblestones, pressure had been building for centuries, waiting for a single crack to release it. It started with small tremors, pictures rattling on the walls, signs that the locals simply ignored as normal. Then, just after noon, the lid was blown off the world with a sound that shattered eardrums miles away. A column of ash and pumice shot 20 miles into the stratosphere, blocking out the sun instantly. In the streets below, confusion turned to panic as the sky turned a bruised purple and stones began to fall. This wasn't snow, it was light, porous rock called pumice raining down like a hailstorm from hell. At first, people stayed inside, believing the storm would pass, a fatal mistake that sealed their doom. The pumice fell at a rate of 6 inches per hour, piling up against doors and trapping families in their homes. Roofs began to groan under the weight of the debris, cracking and collapsing onto the people hiding below. Those who decided to run faced a nightmare of darkness, guided only by the lightning flashing within the ash cloud. The air became thick with sulfur, choking the breath out of anyone who couldn't find a cloth to cover their face. By evening, the eruption changed. The column that had been shooting up suddenly collapsed under its own weight. This created a pyroclastic surge, a superheated avalanche of gas and rock moving at hurricane speeds. The first surge didn't reach Pompeii, but it obliterated the nearby town of Herculaneum in seconds. In Pompeii, the survivors were wading through waist-deep ash, terrified and exhausted, praying for dawn. But dawn never came. Instead, a second, more powerful surge raced down the mountain directly toward them. The heat in this cloud was 500 degrees, hot enough to boil the brain instantly inside the skull. Death was instantaneous. There was no time to suffocate. Their bodies simply seized up in thermal shock. This is why the bodies remain in such casual positions, shielding their eyes or reaching for a loved one. The surge buried the city completely, erasing it from the map as if it had never existed. For centuries, grass grew over the roofs, and locals forgot the name of the city that lay beneath their feet. It wasn't until the 1700s that workmen digging a canal accidentally struck buried marble and gold. Excavators found a world perfectly preserved, bread still in the ovens, and paintings still bright on the walls. But they also found voids in the ash, hollow spaces where human bodies had once been before decomposing. An archaeologist had the brilliant idea to pour liquid plaster into these holes to see what shape they would take. When the ash was chipped away, the victims of Pompeii stared back at the modern world. We could see their clothes, their hairstyles, and even the expressions of terror on their faces. They found a dog twisted in its chain, unable to escape the falling rock. They found lovers embracing and families holding hands, united in their final fraction of a second. Today, Pompeii is a ghost town that millions walk through, stepping on the same stones as the victims. But the most terrifying part of the story isn't what happened in the past, it's what's waiting in the future. Vesuvius is still an active volcano, and 3 million people now live in the danger zone at its base. Scientists say another eruption is not a matter of if, but when, and it could be worse than before. Pompeii serves as a time capsule, a frozen moment that reminds us how fragile our civilization really is. The people of 79 AD thought their world was permanent, just as we often think ours is today. But nature has a way of reclaiming everything, leaving only silence and stone in its wake. The plaster ghosts of Pompeii are still screaming, a warning from the past that we should not ignore. And as the sun sets over the ruins, the mountain watches, sleeping but never truly dead. The city was erased, but the story survived, carried by the wind and the ash of a summer day gone wrong. We walk their streets, we see their faces, and we realize they were exactly like us, until the mountain decides to speak again. This is the legacy of the city frozen in time. Out to sea. Instead, the wind blew directly inland, pinning the cloud over the city like a suffocating blanket. The famous admiral Pliny the Elder launched a rescue fleet, sailing straight into the darkness to save his friends. He never returned, collapsing on a beach from toxic fumes while holding a pillow over his head. Recent forensic scans revealed that the heat was so intense it turned one victim's brain into solid glass. The energy released by Vesuvius that day was 100,000 times greater than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. We know the people of Pompeii intimately because they left graffiti on the walls, writing jokes, insults, and love letters. One skeleton was found clutching a heavy bag of gold coins, proving that wealth could not buy survival. Days after the eruption, looters returned, digging dangerous tunnels through the hot ash to steal statues and marble. Remarkably, the famous Pompeian red walls were originally yellow. The heat of the gas chemically altered the pigment instantly. Most citizens didn't have kitchens. They ate at thermopolia, ancient fast food counters that still stand perfectly preserved today. A Roman soldier was found at the city gate, weapon in hand, refusing to abandon his post even as the world ended. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another story.